Okay, guys, today we are going to start unit number 2, Jinnah's Vision of Pakistan, from book HSSC English Part 2. Before going through the chapter, let's discuss its title first. Muhammad Ali Jinnah's 11th August is one of the most famous speeches made by him, the founding father of Pakistan, in which he focused on Indo-Muslim nationalism. Here he delivered a speech on 11th August 1947. It was considered a most important speech of all times because in this speech, or in that speech, you can say in that speech, he discussed, or the point on which he was focusing, or the point on which he was emphasizing, was Hindu Muslim nationalism. Now, what is nationalism? Means how they have to live their life in different nations, and how they have liberty to live their life or lead their lives according to their culture, or according to their own religion. So that nationalism was important because the whole, you can say, the whole spirit of nation was focusing, or was depending on that nationalism. So let's find out what were the main points of his speech. Now let's discuss the theme. When the partition of India finally occurred, Jinnah, soon to be Governor General of the Dominion of Pakistan, outlined his vision of Pakistan in an address to the Constituent Assembly delivered on 11th August 1947. He spoke of an inclusive and impartial government, religious freedom, rule of law, and equality for all. Now, what were the main points of his speech? He spoke about inclusive and impartial government, means the government that was unbiased, and that contains a specified element as a part of whole, मीन्स तमाम लोगों को यकजा करके चलना है, और ऐसी गवर्नमेंट जो कि गैर जानिबदार हो, जो कि किसी एक को फेवरेटिज्म न दे, और there shouldn't be any kind of nepotism in the government. Now, what is nepotism? Nepotism means to favor someone. So it will be you can say it will be an impartial government according to him. Next, he was focusing on religious freedom, because Muslims were not getting freedom or religious freedom in India. Therefore, now as they will have another separate land for them, they will enjoy their religious freedom. They will pray freely, and they will, you can say, they will have religious freedom of their own. Next is rule of law, means there should be some kind of law in the country that should prevail, and people should lead their life according to the laws set by the government, or by the you can say judiciary. And equality for all, and there will not be any kind of discrimination in the fresh country, or you can say in the newly born country, because everyone will be considered equal, and no one will be superior to another. क्या कायदे आज़म मोहम्मद अली जिन्ना ने इन तमाम चीज़ों पे फोकस किया? एक तो ये कि गवर्नमेंट जो है वो किसी के साथ गैर जानिबदार होगी, किसी के हिमायत नहीं करेगी। दूसरे, लोगों को मजहबी आज़ादी होगी। तीसरा, लॉ को या कानून को लोगों ने फोकस करना है या उसे फॉलो करना है। चौथा, सबको बराबरी की आज़ादी होगी, हर एक बराबर होगा, किसी को किसी के ऊपर फौकियत हासिल नहीं होगी। Okay, students, now come to translation and explanation. Take out page 21. First paragraph. Muhammad Ali Jinnah's 11th August speech is one of the most famous speeches made by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founding father of Pakistan and known as Quaid-e-Azam, the great leader. Today, there is hardly a more contentious issue in Pakistan than the issue of Jinnah's vision. Contentious means डिबेटेबल और डिस्प्यूटेबल, यानी झगड़े वाला होना या जिसके ऊपर बहस की जा सके, मुबाहिसा किए जा सके. While Pakistan was created as a result of what could be described as India Muslim nationalism, Jinnah was widely held as a competent barrister. Competent means one who has command on his knowledge or on his ability, who had once championed the cause of Hindu Muslims unity and a united India. When the partition of India finally occurred, Jinnah, soon to be Governor General of the Dominion of Pakistan, Dominion means the state, Riyasat, gave expression to his vision of Pakistan in an address to the Constituent Assembly on August 11, 1947. He spoke of an inclusive and impartial government, religious freedom, rule of law, and equality for all. Inclusive means considered together, यानी एक जैसा होना, इकट्ठा होना. एंड इम्पार्शियल मीन्स जस्ट एंड बायस्ड, यानी इंसाफ पसंद होना या किसी की फेवर ना करना. Rule of law and equality for all. He also seemed to advocate the ideology of Pakistan. Okay, now first we have to discuss this paragraph. When Pakistan was about to come or came into being, Qaeda-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, right before the 3 days of 14th August, he addressed to the Constituent Assembly, and he put forward his ideas and also his thought that why he made Pakistan for Muslims, what was you can say why it was essential to have a separate homeland for the Muslims. For him, the Muslims should have a separate homeland because they should live separately, because they have their own identity, they have their own culture, which is quite together different from Hindus. For him, there should be religious freedom in that state. For Muslims, there should be a law which Muslims have to follow, and there will not be any kind of discrimination, and there will be equality that will prevail all among the country. उन्होंने अपने जो मेन पॉइंट्स थे उनकी तकरीर के, वो ये थे कि एक तो ऐसी फलाही रियासत कायम करनी है जिसके अंदर मजहबी आज़ादी हो मुसलमानों को, दूसरे मुसलमानों को वहाँ के कवानीन को की पैरवी करनी है, तीसरा ये कि तमाम लोग वहाँ एक जैसे समझे जाएंगे, मीन्स देयर विल नॉट बी एनी काइंड ऑफ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन बिटवीन दैम as it was prevailing in subcontinent when Pakistan didn't come into being. There was no equality, there was discrimination all over the subcontinent, because they didn't consider Hindu and Muslim the same. They considered Muslim as minority. Therefore, it was essential for Muslims to have a separate homeland. Now come to another paragraph. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, I cordially thank you, cordially means warmly, with the utmost sincerity, for the honor you have conferred upon me, the greatest honor that is possible to confer by electing me as your first president. I also thank those leaders who have spoken in appreciation of my services and their personal references to me. Here, he was obliged to have such kind of honor, which put forward different people to him, and he was also paying thanks to them that they showed confidence in Quaid-e-Azam, they showed confidence in the abilities of Quaid-e-Azam, and they also showed trust in him. I sincerely hope that with your support and your cooperation, we shall make this Constituent Assembly an example to the world. The Constituent Assembly has got two main functions to perform. The first is the very onerous and responsible task of framing the future constitution of Pakistan, and the second of the functioning as a full or complete sovereign body as the federal legislature of Pakistan. Onerous means burdensome, sovereign means supreme in rank, legislature is also a kind of body that is supreme in rank. So in his address, he put forward two main points on which they were supposed to be working. First one was to frame द फ्यूचर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ पाकिस्तान, यानी एक आइन बनाना था पाकिस्तान के लिए, एंड सेकंड ऑफ फंक्शनिंग एज अ फुल एंड कंप्लीट सॉवरेन बॉडी एज द फेडरल लेजिस्लेटर ऑफ पाकिस्तान। और फिर कोई ऐसी बॉडी, टाइप ऑफ बॉडी बनानी थी, मीन्स काइंड ऑफ टीम, ठीक है, विच कुड मेक द कंट्री प्रोग्रेस और विच कुड मेक द कंट्री टू बी फंक्शन। यानी एक ऐसे एक तो टीम बनानी थी, दूसरे उन्होंने उसको आइन को तश्कील देना था। तो दीज दोज वर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टास्क विच कायद आजम had to do, and his team also had to do. We have to do the best we can in adopting a provincial constitution for the federal legislature of Pakistan. You know really that not only we ourselves are wondering, but I think the whole world is wondering at this unprecedented cyclonic revolution, which has, cyclonic means stormy like cyclone, यानी इतनी तूफानी revolution होना, which has brought about the plan of creating and establishing two independent sovereign dominions in the subcontinent. Now, according to him, that revolution which came or which was occurring in subcontinent, that was a cyclonic revolution, यानी इतनी ज़्यादा तूफानी किस्म की एक तरह से इनकलाब था, by putting two separate identities or two different kinds of you can say communities together by also making a separate homeland for Muslim. So it was kind of cyclonic revolution at that time, ठीक है, कि ऐसा इनकलाब जो कि भरपूर इनकलाब था और उसने हर चीज़ को बदल के रख दिया था. The revolution also brought severe consequences. उसके नताइज जो थे वो बदतरीन थे, क्योंकि रिवॉल्ट भी हुआ था, खून खराबा हुआ था, ठीक है. तो इसलिए इस इनकलाब को उन्होंने रेवोल्यूशनरी इनकलाब कहा था या साइक्लोनिक इनकलाब कहा था, जिसके अंदर एक तरह से तूफान बरपा हुआ था साइक्लोन की तरह. आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दिस, you can say, paragraph very well. Now come to the next paragraph. Okay, now come to page 22. As it is, it has been unprecedented. Unprecedented means extraordinary और unparalleled, यानी जो बहुत ही ज़्यादा कोई मुख्तलिफ किस्म का हो, जिसका कोई मैच ना हो. There is no parallel in the history of the world. This mighty subcontinent with all kinds of inhabitants. Inhabitants means permanent residents of a particular area, यानी लोग जो वहाँ के रहते हैं, रिहायशी. Has been brought under a plan which is titanic, unknown, unparalleled. Titanic means huge, of high severity, of high intensity. And what is very important with regards to it is that we have achieved it peacefully by means of an evolution of the greatest possible character. Now, according to him, it was a revolutionary change, and it was a cyclonic revolution. But according to him, that kind of example would be impossible to find in the history of the world, because such a huge change never ever have happened or never occurred in the history of the world. So the two different identities, or the two you can say two different masses were in front of each other, and they have to fight for their rights. They have to fight for the फ्रीडम, ठीक है. दो मुख्तलिफ लोगों की एक कम्युनिटी या मज़ाहिब के लोग एक दूसरे के आमने सामने थे. तो सोचें कि कितना एक मसला होगा या खून खराबा हो रहा होगा, लेकिन फिर भी काफ़ी हद तक उस चीज़ के ऊपर काबू पा लिया गया था. और उस रियासत के अंदर बड़ा एक चेंज आया था उस वक्त में, कि दो मुख्तलिफ जो कम्युनिटीज़ थी वो अलग अलग हो रही थी एक दूसरे से. Dealing with our first function in this assembly, I cannot make any well considered pronouncement at this moment. Pronouncement means an official statement. but I shall say a few things as they occur to me. The first and the foremost thing that I would like to emphasize is this: remember that you are now a sovereign legislative body and you have got all the powers. It is therefore places on you the gravest responsibility as to how you should take your decisions. Gravest means extremely serious. The first observation that I would like to make is that you will no doubt agree with me that the first duty of government is to maintain law and order so that the life, property, and religious beliefs of its subjects are fully protected by the state. Now, the first and foremost task he had to do, or he wanted to do from the other people, was to make a law and to follow that law, because it will not only protect the life and property of the people but also the religious beliefs. उन्होंने कहा कि सबसे पहले तो हमें कानून बनाना है, इसलिए कानून बनाना है कि हमने लोगों की माल, जान और उनके जो मजहबी अकायद हैं उनको सेव करना है. जैसे देखो, माइनॉरिटीज हैं, लेट्स सपोज क्रिश्चियंस हैं, वी हैव मेड लॉज फॉर देम, ठीक है, तो उनके भी उतने ही हकूक हैं. इसी तरह मुस्लिम्स हैव देयर ओन राइट्स. तो दोनों को लेके मुसलमानों को या हिंदुओं को या क्रिश्चियन कम्युनिटी को, सबको लेके मुल्क को चलाना था, बिकॉज वी आर नॉट कम्युनिटीज, वी आर वन कंट्री. ठीक है, हमें माइनॉरिटीज या मेजोरिटीज में नहीं डिवाइड होना था, हमें एक मुल्क बनाना था. सो इन ऑर्डर टू मेक और इस्टेब्लिश दैट कंट्री वी हैव टू फॉलो द लॉ, और in order to follow the law, first we have to maintain a law or to make such kind of law which can do the best in the progress of the country. कि एक मुल्क को चलाने के लिए बेहतरीन कानून कैसे बन सकता था कि सब लोगों को उनका हकूक दिए जा सकें. The second thing that occurs to me is this: one of the biggest curses from which India is suffering. I do not say that the other countries are free from it, but I think our condition is much worse. Is bribery and corruption. For him, bribery and corruption both were social evils. So both should be eradicated from the country as soon as possible. उन्होंने कहा कि इंडिया जो थी वो रिश्वत सतानी और जो करप्शन थी या बदगुमानी थी उसकी वजह से बहुत ज्यादा सफर कर रहा था. इसी तरह से हमें वी हैव टू रूट इट आउट, और वी हैव टू रूट आउट दीज सोशल इवल्स फ्रॉम द कंट्री, कि हमें ब्राइबरी और करप्शन, रिश्वत सतानी और बदगुमानी को खत्म करना है खित्ते में से. दैट रियली इज अ पॉइजन फॉर, अकॉर्डिंग टू हिम, बोथ सोशल इवल्स वर पॉइजन to the country or to the world. We must put that down with an iron hand, and I hope that you will take adequate measures as soon as it is possible for this assembly to do so. Next, the next thing that strikes me is this: here again it is a legacy which has been passed on to us. Along with other things, good and bad, has arrived this great evil, the evil of nepotism and jobbery. Now, what is nepotism? Whenever you give extra favor to your relative or to your friends when you are in job, ठीक है, when you give them any kind of benefits that are related to your job, यानी उनकी जॉब लगवा दी या उनको कहीं भी आपने लगवा दी इस तरह से और उनको फायदा दिया, that is nepotism. ठीक है, you are not giving benefit to the person who are able, यानी आप एबल लोगों को या जिनके अंदर एबिलिटी है उनको देने के बजाय फेवरेटिज्म करते हो, अपने किसी रिश्तेदार या दोस्त अहबाब को नौकरी पे लगा देते हो. दैट इज नेपोटिज्म. ठीक है. जॉबरी मीन्स द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ मेकिंग पर्सनल प्रॉफिट थ्रू गवर्नमेंट जॉब. मीन्स आप अगर अपना जाती फायदा जॉब के से ले रहे हैं या हुकूमत से ले रहे हैं, दैट इज जॉबरी. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू हिम, jobbery and nepotism should also be eradicated from the country, and there should be a kind of check on the people that are on higher ranks or that are higher ups, or any influence directly or indirectly brought to bear upon me. Whenever I will find that such practice is in vogue or in continuing anywhere, low or high, I shall certainly not countenance it. Countenance it a popular practice at a particular time, यानी किसी भी जगह पे एक खास तरह का काम होना खास वक्त में. I know that there are people who do not quite agree with the division of India and the partition of the Punjab and Bengal. Much has been said against it, but now that it has been accepted, it is the duty of everyone of us to loyally abide by it and honorably act according to the agreement, which is now final and binding on all. Now, according to him, as all the things have happened, so we have to accept it by heart. He was addressing to such kind of people who were not accepting such kind of change in subcontinent. So he was saying that if we want progress in our country or progress in the continent, we have to follow this change, or we have to follow the decision right now. So here in this paragraph, what we discuss, Quaid-e-Azam said about address to the Constituent Assembly, and he was focusing to eradicate bribery, corruption, jobbery, and nepotism, because for him, or according to him, these are the social evils, and these are kind of poison which could poison the world, which could poison the subcontinent. And if we practice such kind of things or social evil in our life or in our job, we won't be able to step ahead or to move forward into the life. I hope, girls, you have understood this paragraph also. Now come to page 23. But you must remember, as I have said, that the mighty revolution that has taken place is unprecedented, again unparalleled. One means that revolution is unparalleled, unmatchable. That won't happen again. यानी ऐसा इनकलाब है जिसकी कोई मिसाल नहीं और दोबारा ये वाक़या नहीं होगा. One can quite understand the feeling that exists between the two communities, wherever one community is in majority, the other is in minority. But the question is whether it was possible or practicable to act otherwise than what has been done. A division has to take place on both sides in Hindustan and Pakistan. There are sections of people who may not agree with it, who may not like it, but in my judgment, there was no other solution, and I am sure that the future history will record its verdict in favor of it. Verdict means decision. Now he was addressing to those people who were not accepting that change. For him, it should be happened, and it was possible, or it was important at that time to take such kind of decision. And according to him, that decision will be fruitful in the future. उन्होंने कहा कि इसके नताइज मुस्तकबिल में रोनामा होंगे, और आप देखेंगे कि इसके नताइज कितने ज़रूरी थे या कितने एक तरह से फ़ायदेमंद थे हिंदुस्तान और मुसलमान पाकिस्तान के लोगों के लिए. And what is more, it will be proved by actual experience as we go on that it was the only solution of India's constitutional problem. Any idea of a united India could never have worked, and in my judgment, it would have led us to terrific disaster. Maybe that view is correct, maybe it is not. That remains to be seen. All the same, in this division, it was impossible to avoid the question of minorities being in one dominion or the other. Now that was unavoidable. There is no other solution. Now what shall we do? Now, if we want to make this great state of Pakistan happy and prosperous, we should wholly and solely concentrate on the well-being of the people, and especially of the masses of and the poor. And if you will work in cooperation for getting the past, burying the hatchets, you are bound to succeed. Burying the hatchet means to bury the enmity and become friends. Okay, now he was asking people to bury all kind of enmity and to become friends, because this is the only solution to get success in future. He was addressing to them that they should forget each and everything that is in their heart, that is negative in their heart. Instead of it, they should develop positivity in their hearts. So this is the only way, or this is the only key to get सक्सेस इन द फ्यूचर. वो कह रहे थे लोगों से कि अपनी नफरतें दिलों से भुला दें, जिसकी वजह से यही एक चीज़ है कि अगर आपने नफरत भुला दी और आपने आगे बढ़ने के लिए हर बात को भुला दिया, तो तभी आप आगे बढ़ सकते हैं, तरक्की हासिल कर सकते हैं. If you change your past and work together in a spirit that every one of you no matter to what community he belongs, no matter what relations he had with you in the past, no matter what is his color, caste, or creed, is first, second, and last a citizen of this state with equal rights, privileges, and obligations. There will be no end to the progress you will make. He was saying them that there won't be any kind of discrimination if they forget each and everything and they start working together without thinking about caste and color, and they should develop such kind of idea in their mind that there is no discrimination, all of them are equal, there is no discrimination among caste and creed or color. So they will be bound to succeed. कि अगर वो ये छोड़ दें कि नस्ल रंग क्या है, वी आर ओनली पाकिस्तानीज, हम ये सिर्फ सोचें कि हम पाकिस्तानीज हैं, तो ये हो सकता है कि हम तरक्की की राह पर चल सकें. I cannot emphasize this too much. We should begin to work in that spirit, and in course of time, all these angularities of the majority and the minority communities, the Hindu community and the Muslim community. Because even as regards Muslims, you have Pathans, Punjabis, Shias, Sunnis, and so on. And among the Hindus, you have Brahmins, Vaishnavas, Khatris, and also Bengalis, Madrasis, and so on, will vanish. Vanish means disappear. Indeed, if you ask me, this has been the biggest hindrance. Hindrance means obstacle in the way of India to attain freedom and independence. We would have been a free people long ago. No power can hold another nation, especially a nation of 400 million souls in subjection. Nobody could have conquered you, and even if you have happened, nobody could have continued its hold on you for any length of time but for this. He was also telling them that nobody could have such kind of hold on you as they used to have, as a British used to have, because the thing that destroyed India or subcontinent was that they were separated, or they were divided among caste and creed. Instead of it, they should forget each and everything, and to be united, to get united, they have to come on to the same page. They have to think that they are just Hindus, or Muslims have to think that they are just Muslims and Pakistanis. If they think such kind of thinking, or if they develop such kind of thinking, no one can stop them to get progress, or to get the way of progress. कि अगर इंडिया में जो ब्रिटिश लोग थे उन्होंने क्यों कब्जा किया, इसी वजह से कि इंडिया में जातों के ऊपर तकसीम हुई थी कि ब्राह्मण हैं और इस तरह से शूद्र वगैरह. अगर ये ना होती तो कोई भी इंसान उसके ऊपर या कोई भी रियासत आकर कब्जा नहीं कर सकती थी. उन्होंने यही समझाई चीज कि अब पाकिस्तान और इंडिया के लोगों को ये समझना चाहिए कि उनको ये डिस्क्रिमिनेशन खत्म करनी है. कलर, कास्ट या क्रीड, रंग, नस्ल या जात की बुनियाद पर ये जो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है, इस चीज को खत्म करना है, तभी वो तरक्की की राह इख्तियार कर सकते हैं. Therefore, we must learn a lesson from this. You are free. You are free to go to your temples. You are free to go to your mosques or to any other place of worship in this state of Pakistan. For him, the state of Pakistan was open for everyone. For all was also open for minorities. Here, minorities could lead the life of freedom. They could have life that is full of religious freedom. They can easily go, or they can easily visit their temples. You may belong to any religion or caste or creed. That has nothing to do with the business of the state. उन्होंने कहा कि रियासत से इसे कुछ लेना देना नहीं. आपका जो भी मजहब है, अकायद हैं, जो भी है, आपने जिधर जाना है आपको आज़ादी होगी कि आप आराम से उधर जिंदगी गुजार सकें. Now I think we should keep that in front of us as our ideal, and you will find that in course of time Hindus could cease to be Hindus and Muslims would cease to be Muslims, not in religious sense because that is personal faith of each individual, but in political sense as citizen of the state. Cease means stop. Now he was saying that Muslims will consider themselves Muslims and Hindu will consider themselves Hindu. but what they have to consider, they have to consider they are the citizens of Pakistan. उन्होंने कहा मुसलमान अपने आप को मुसलमान समझें, हिंदू अपने आप को हिंदू समझें, लेकिन जो चीज उन्हें समझनी है और दिमाग में रखनी है वो ये कि वो इस पाकिस्तान के शहरी हैं. Well, gentlemen, I do not wish to take any more of your time, and thank you again for the honor you have done to me. I shall always be guided by the principles of justice and fair play, without any, as is put in the political language, prejudice or ill will. In other words, partialities or favoritism. My guiding principle will be justice and complete impartiality. Impartiality means just and unbiased, यानी इंसाफ पसंद होना. And I am sure that with your support and cooperation, I can look forward to Pakistan becoming one of the greatest nations of the world. Now, he was also asking cooperation from other people. Without them, it won't be impossible for him to make Pakistan a progressive country. So he was saying that he had delivered or he has already conveyed his thinking to the people among large masses of people and in front of Constituent Assembly. Now it's the task of them to maintain that way or to lead the life according to the rules set by him. He was also asking them that there won't be any kind of favoritism or partiality, because he was engaged of these social evils. I hope girls you have understood it. ठीक है, लास्ट में कंक्लूजन करूंगी कि उन्होंने यही चाहा कि लोग उनसे ताउन करें. दूसरे वो चाहते थे कि किसी किस्म की फेवरेटिज्म किसी को न दी जाए, अप टू द मार्क काम हो, लोगों को जो एबिलिटी है उसको जज करके उसके हिसाब से उनको काम दिया जाए, और नेपोटिज्म या फेवरेटिज्म, ब्राइबरी, ऐसे करप्शन टाइप सोशल इवल्स को हमने खात्मा करना है या खात्मा करना चाहते थे. आई होप गर्ल्स यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दिस वेरी वेल, and there won't be any kind of you can say unclarity in your mind now. And if you have any question to ask, you can ask me, or if you have any query, you can ask me.